Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 15th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Hey, just to start off, we've got an update to a story we brought to you yesterday, but on Saturday, September 12th, Anne Arundel County Police responded to the 500 block of Delaware Avenue in Glen Burnie, where they discovered a 27-year-old male suffering from a fatal gunshot wound in the street. Police have released a little bit more information. They did respond to a fight, and the deceased is identified as Fillmore James Burris of the 200 block of Kent Road in Glen Burnie. Now, this is where it gets a little bit strange. According to the investigators, Mr. Burris was in an altercation with family members prior to being shot. While the victim was arguing with family members, 3 black males approached, and it was during that time that Mr. Burris was shot. The 3 black males then took off running from the area, and Anne Arundel County Police are asking anybody that has any information to come forward by calling them at 410-222-4731, or you can remain anonymous at 410-222-4700, or you can call Crime Stoppers at 866-7-LOCK-UP. On Sunday, the Annapolis Police Department arrested an Annapolis man for shoplifting twice in 1 hour. On September 13th at 8:15 a.m., and you want to keep that number in mind, Annapolis police officers responded to the CVS store on South Cherry Grove Avenue for a theft in progress. When they arrived, they did find the suspect. He was leaving the store with $137 worth of laundry detergent products. They charged him, they gave him a criminal citation, and he was set free a short time later. And then at 9:03 a.m., yes, less than 45 minutes later, police responded to the 1700 block of Forest Drive at the Safeway for a theft in progress. When they arrived, they found the same suspect leaving the store with seafood items valued at $193. Well, same suspect. He was arrested, but this time they took him in front of a court administrator who promptly let him out on his own recognizance. Yesterday afternoon, Anne Arundel County Councilman Andrew Pruski sent out a statement saying that he has tested positive for COVID-19. The councilman did say that he was tested out of an abundance of caution. He was asymptomatic, and he is currently isolating himself from both his family as well as anybody else. In the statement, Pruski does say that he is working with the Maryland and Anne Arundel County Departments of Health to contact anyone who had been around him over the last 2 weeks, and he said that he respectfully asked for people to respect the privacy of me and my family during the quarantine. Yesterday, the Anne Arundel Economic Development Corporation launched Shop Safe, Shop Local, Shop Arundel Biz. It's a marketing campaign to highlight the importance of patronizing small businesses here in Anne Arundel County. According to Ben Burge, who is the CEO, many locally owned shops, restaurants, services, and organizations have really pivoted their operations to help keep their customers and employees safe. We hope customers can appreciate their significant investments in these new tools and procedures and support our small businesses. Remember, when we buy local, we support jobs in our county and ensure that our tax dollars stay here as well. Shop Safe, Shop Local, Shop Arundel Biz coincides with Anne Arundel County's resolution declaring September Back to Business Month. They also will be busy promoting the county's farmers markets and agricultural businesses. And lastly, they're partnering with local business groups, chambers of commerce, etc., to distribute cloth masks to any area companies that may need it. These masks are actually from the inventory of the Anne Arundel County Office of Emergency Management, and staff will be delivering boxes to those partner organizations for distribution in the next week. To find out where you can pick up some of them, you want to make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net. We do have a full list of those as well. I'll tell you, boy, Anne Arundel Economic Development Corps have been really busy during this whole COVID thing. You've got to remember that they administered the CEP program, which was the Customer and Employee Protection Grant Program. They doled out $5 million to 788 grants to companies all over Anne Arundel County with an average grant amount of about $6,300. So Anne Arundel Economic Development Corp doing lots of good stuff. Hey, if you're a real estate developer, you may have missed the deal of the century. You could have bought the Marley Station Mall for $1.65 million yesterday. Well, actually, somebody did buy it for $1.65. You could have paid $1.66 and won it probably in the auction. It is going to cost a little bit more than that. It's probably going to closer to $25 million, I'm guessing, because there is $15 million in liens that remain on the mall that do need to be satisfied. In addition, I am sure that the remaining tenants there are all behind on their rent, so I imagine that's going to creep up to whoever the successful buyer was. Paul Cooper, who is the auctioneer from Alex Cooper, did not name the buyer. For those that have been in the area for a long time, the mall did open back in 1987. It expanded twice in 94 and 96, and lately it's been pretty much languishing. Not a whole lot going on in there, but it'll be interesting to see what happens to the place that was Marley Station Mall. All right, that does wrap it up for the news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we're going to be updating these stories and more. If you are someplace you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that and let your friends, family, and colleagues all know how to get a hold of the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. It is Tuesday, so we do have the guys from Sing Second Sports standing by. And as we have every single day, we've got George Young with your local DCMDVA weather. All of that's coming up after this brief message from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, September 15th. Yesterday worked out pretty nicely on the whole with mixed skies and comfortable temps in the 75 to 80 degree range for highs. Those skies did get a bit milky late in the day as smoke from western wildfires finally made it all the way to the east coast on upper level winds moving across the country. But skies should be much clearer and sunnier today and tomorrow, with near perfect conditions each day with highs today in the 70 to 75 degree range across all of Anne Arundel County, followed by 75 to 80 degrees Wednesday, before more clouds then move in Thursday as rain chances increase from late Thursday through late Friday, ahead of what should be a spectacular, albeit cool at times, weekend, ahead with tons of sun Saturday and Sunday with highs each day, 65 to 72 degrees, as morning lows dip down to chilly levels in the 45 to 55 degree range. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA weather in the Apple or Google App Store. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And use our website each day at DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Have you ever been to the Annapolis Mall when it opens for the day? Maybe you've noticed the line of folks waiting to get into the Apple Store. As you may know, I'm a Mac user, and today's episode of the Daily News Brief, in fact, all of the episodes of the Daily News Brief have been produced right here on my Mac computer. What you might not know about is Macmedics. They were founded here in Annapolis in 1989, and they are an Apple-authorized premium service provider, the only one in the Baltimore-Annapolis, D.C. area. And what that means to you is that they repair all Apple devices, including the iPhone screens and batteries, all without an appointment. And most repairs are done the same day, usually within 2 hours. They also sell everything except the iPhone and the watch for the same price as Apple. I don't know why you would go anywhere else. Give them a call at 410-757-MACS, or if you're not into the whole letter thing, 410-757-6227. Stop by their retail store in Severna Park on Benfield Road or their service center in Lanham, right off of Route 50. Or you can always check them out online at macmedics.com. I'll tell you, they've saved me quite a few times, and I know they can save you.
Hey, Eye on Annapolis. When you need to know what is happening with Navy sports, the Sing Second team, we are your source for the incredible insight that is only matched by the access we get to the movers and shakers within Ricketts Hall and in the yard, past, present, and the future of Navy sports. So hang on as I, John Schofield, Chris Ward, and Bill Wagner, our recurring special guests, fill you in on what we've been doing and what's happening in Navy sports in the week ahead. No football this past weekend, thank goodness, since the last one was a 55-3 loss to BYU. But a lot of news in the off week. Harry Olsen, who was the backup quarterback, has entered the transfer portal. We break that down with Bill Wagner of the Capital Gazette. We also have a great conversation with the entire Davis family of Arnold, Maryland. Emmett Davis Sr. is the assistant coach on the men's basketball team. His wife, Gail, is the former head coach of the girls basketball team at Broadneck High School. And then all three of their sons, Emmett Jr., Brendan, and Shane, were star athletes at Broadneck High School and are now all three in some form of Division I sports, and obviously very adversely affected by COVID in Division I sports. And then lastly, we talked to Navy women's soccer coach Karen Gabera. For those local fans here who love soccer, both men's and women's, Karen talks about how the men's and women's team are actually getting some competition during the fall in advance of the Patriot League publishing a more substantive schedule in the spring. So we talked to Karen and her new team captain, Christina Junjapunyan from California. It's an awesome conversation. Stick with us, and then as we get closer to the Tulane game next weekend, we'll give you all the news you need, all the breakdown you need so that you can enjoy the game, and hopefully we have a better outcome this time. Make sure you don't miss a single episode of Sing Second Sports. Make sure you catch it by subscribing to Sing Second Sports wherever you get your podcasts or on SoundCloud. Give us a follow on Facebook. Give us some feedback on Instagram, Twitter, at Sing Second Sports, and at We Sing Second on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you around the bend. Bye.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.